Beloved moderator,
we want to call somebody to chair this particular session. Let me give the honor to our mama, Mrs. Jobo, to chair this particular session.
we have 3 papers going around. I've seen that we have gone into the presentation by about 45 minutes. So what I will do is just to compact what I would have said in 1 hour in just the next 15, 20 minutes. I just put yesterday's presentation into a context in the form of the papers being distributed. I asked Mr. Agbono to play that hymn, Work for the Night is Coming. We are talking about revival, and within the context we are in, we need to hurry up to revive, heal, and restore our church. And I'm happy to see Mrs. Vida Jobo. Yeah, Mama. Good to see you. Yes. One more. I'll be speaking, Madam Moderator, I'll be speaking to 3 papers. One is numbered 1, another one 2, the third one 3. And if Reverend Dr. Amaglo is around, if he can draw nearer to me, yes. I'll speak to the first 2 papers. Now, I'll speak to the first 2 papers, and the third one, I'll call on Reverend Dr. Amaglo to do that. Reverend Dr. Amaglo was a former student of the Protestant University in Wuppertal in Germany, where since 2012 I have been a senior fellow and a visiting professor up to date. And Reverend Amaglo in 2014 was adjudged the best student out of all the students from this is an international university with students from Indonesia, the Philippines, Germany, Africa. And he was the best. So I want to test him and see whether he is still alive to what we taught him in Wuppertal. Followed on Reverend Godwin Amponi. And I think we have one lady also from the EP Church who is also on the course. We have another staff from the EEPT who is also on the course, another one from the PCG. It is one of the best studies in the secular world in management. So you have a resource over here. Yesterday I talked about the laity, about people who are professionals being ordained into the ministry. And when I saw the last ordination, that was commissioning, that was done in Mamprobi, I've seen pastors doing accountancy. And the Reverend Tovino, is Reverend here? Reverend is it Tovino as the new director of finance. So well done. Thank you. I'm so proud. So I think that is the way to go, so that we can blend the secular knowledge and that of our very able theologians that we have in the church. So I'll speak about the first paper. In organizational management, the church is an organization. We know it's an instrument of God, but it's a human establishment. As per the definition I gave yesterday, the dual nature of the church, the human-created church. So like any organization, we have number of years that will drive us. We have performance. So if you look on this chart, take your place like a district or a congregation or a presbytery. And who can tell me from this chart, where do you think we are as a church, as a national church? Just one or two people. Where do you think we are? Are we on complacency? Are we declining? Or are we highly cohesive? I know we have passed the initial stages. So on the vertical line, you see performance. We are going up. And then on the horizontal, you see foundation, boom, stable, decline, revamp, or best. Where do you think we are on this chart? Okay. So people say revamp. People say decline. But the point I want to make is that the moderator and his team, in their wisdom, they realize that we have reached a point of complacency and we are dangerously moving on the trajectory of decline. So you can see what happens when you are new, and you can see what happens when you are growing, even as human beings. And this research we have done has proved the test of time. So as an organization, we have reached a place, we have reached the apex, and actually we are now on the stage of decline. And the good thing is that it's just like human beings. We decline and we go to the Lord. But the difference between us and an organization is that if we take the appropriate steps, we can halt. You can see on the decline, we have extinction, we have barely existing, and then sustained growth. And I think that is where we are. We have to take steps to sustain the growth of our dear church, the Evangelical Presbyterian Church. Because posterity will not forgive us if we decline and extinct. We will not extinct as a church because it's an instrument of God. But if we do not take it, we can just be barely existing. And we think that we are there. But we could just be barely existing as an institution. So it's just to create the awareness that your districts, your congregations, your presbyteries, you could be on this chart. You could be on this chart and find your placement on it. Then the second chart is on sustainability. So if we reach the stage of decline, if we are declining, For example, that is where we have values and actions out of alignment. There's confusion. 100 years ago, you cannot think of the EP Church going to court. But in today's environment, we just need to be aware that people are now alive to their rights and responsibilities. So this is something we can face. That is why yesterday I talked about the policy manual, policy documents of the church, so that it helps us to organize ourselves. Otherwise, there will be confusion. And once there is confusion, people don't want to live with a confused institution. They will just exit quietly. So, then number 2, if we realize that we are a church, we are an organization, but dedicated for propagating the gospel to winning souls to Christ, we need to sustain it so that it can live beyond us. So the second document, we have 3 circles there: organizational regeneration, impact, resources, and at the center we have sustainability. So consistently, we need to be asking ourselves, what are we doing to sustain the congregations handed over to us? What can we do to sustain the presbytery, the district, the church? And that is what the moderator has done. That at the national level, he felt something must be done to revive, heal, and restore. The restoration in the management circle is now sustainability. And here in this chart, as Reverend Amaglo learned very well in Wuppertal, it's not enough to have resources like buildings, church members, the pews, cars, and it's not enough. But the question is, are you making any impact on society? Or you are just there to manage yourselves? Or you are just there just to maintain the status quo? You also have to reinvent yourself, but with the gospel at the base. And the reinvention here is what? Is a regeneration. How do we regenerate? And that is where we are with the theme: revive, restore, and heal us. So we have to constantly regenerate ourselves. We are now thinking of what? Water projects. We are talking of what? Commercial projects, so that we can reduce the burden of Sunday collections on our members. People, yes, must give stewardship, tithe, and the rest, but we must complement that with our commercial projects. We must complement that with accountability. So that is the second document, and you read into it. So I'll call on Reverend Dr. Amaglo, my former student, to come and present the third paper.
Madam Chair, the Standing Committee, former executives of the church, commissioners and corresponding members, I want to thank Dr. Mawudor for this honor to be associated with his presentation, giving me part to play. I thank you for this honor done me. And I want to pay tribute to you especially again for learning under your feet when we encountered you during our 4th model in Tanzania, Sebastian Kolowa Memorial University, where we entered into the implementation plans of a strategy. After we have done our strategic planning in Silliman University, Dumaguete in the Philippines. And after we have, during the 2nd model, in Stellenbosch University in South Africa, where we went into public theology, leadership, and advocacy. And before that, we began in Wuppertal, Bielefeld, to be precise, where we went to the St. Gallen management model with the theology of diaconia, the history and practice of diaconia. I cannot end this tribute if I do not pay tribute to very Reverend Francis Amanu and the late Clerk of the General Assembly, Godwin Osiakwa, who gave me the opportunity for this scholarship, which is indeed an international scholarship with these various contexts that I have mentioned, that we did this international contextual studies in normative governance. Thank you for the opportunity, and God bless you. With what we are dealing with in the theme, or on the theme that Dr. Mawudor took us through, we, from the second sheet, that we must make an impact on our environment and be able to learn from it and adapt to the environment. For this, that we came out in our strategic plan, the key result areas for AP Church. That, which areas in Ghana do we want to make impact? So we're looking at the inadequacies in our leadership and management skills. And so leadership and management became the first key result area. And then we have finance management also as part. And we have evangelism and mission. Also there is Christian education, where we have to nurture and grow the children, the women, the men, the youth. Then also infrastructure and estate. We identify those for us to work on. As you rightly, Dr. Mawudor, identified, that we have lost focus because we did not carry out the vision and the mission that we took in the strategic plan that was a roadmap for us. It means that we have neglected the plan and continue to do things our own way. I'm not here now to evaluate the plan for us, but we are in the evaluation process and the results will come out soon. What Dr. Mawudor has exposed us to, for us to succeed, our key value, it should be value driven. Our key value should be trust. So the sheet 3. We find trust in the middle. And the heading, the subheading there, subheading 3, is that trust is the key. What is this trust? We will be entrusted with various positions and offices. Some of us are pastors, some are catechists, we have presbyters, we have group leaders. We are leaders in various capacities from our congregations, districts, and presbyteries. So it is by trust that we have been given these offices to lead. And so there is a firm belief that we are able. So we must be reliable. So in trust, there should be reliability. And we must have the ability to do them or to perform. And we must be truthful. What we say should be what we practice. Now, when we take this trust and we want to look at the whole organization, EP Church, we are not profit-making organizations. We are a non-profit-making organization. With the profit-making organizations, because they are profit-driven, they have various schemes of winning customers to make their profits. So they engage in all manner of advertisements to induce their customers or consumers. For non-profit making organizations, they are voluntary organizations. Ours is a voluntary organization. Our members come by their own volition. No one, and there's no law that has compelled them to come. And because they came voluntarily, whatever they offer it in trust that it will be put to good use. So the moment this trust is lost, when we lose this trust, then everything will go bad. That's why trust is the key. So, as part of the trust, we must have the needed skills in order to perform. So we are going to match the trust to the performance. We are trusted that we can perform. And we have been entrusted with responsibilities. There are skills, there are knowledge, there are experiences among us. And this must be brought to bear on our performances. And so we still need training and capacity building in order to improve upon performance. As trust is the key, if we are not able to perform, then trust will be lost. Because of the trust, we are able to perform. That is the linkage. Now let's match it to the right top. Performance leading to accountability. When we perform, we have to be accountable for what we have done. Our assets, materials, logistics, funds that we use, how we use them, must be accounted for. And so in accountability, we must own the results of our choices and actions. Things that we do and the choices that we make in taking those actions, the impact, the results, we have to own it. If it goes bad, then we have failed. If it succeeds, then we have done well. That is why accountability is key. And whoever is trustworthy is accountable. So now let's link accountability to the trust. Whoever is trustworthy is accountable. Whoever is accountable is automatically trustworthy. Now, from accountability down, we can see that we need to inform people. For accountability to be complete, we need to educate people. We need to report. We need to communicate. There's the need for communication, consultation, and even we try to engage our stakeholders closely. So now, who are our stakeholders? Coming to the bottom left. The stakeholders. There are two categories of stakeholders. The internal stakeholders and the external stakeholders. So who are our internal stakeholders? I'm using the stakeholder portion of the News and Garland Management model. So on the right-hand side, we have the investors who are internal. They are our mission founding bodies. The mission bodies that founded the EP Church and other mission partners that we have today can be classified as our investors. We have employees, those who are on the payroll of EPCG. So pastors, catechists, drivers, some accounting personnel, and secretaries that are on the payroll are the internal stakeholders. Then we have the customers. But because we are not into buying and selling, our customers, we can call them the clients. That are our members of the church. And if we go to the left side of the stakeholders on St. Gallen, we have competitors, there are suppliers, there is the government. Our competitors, we can take them from other Christian denominations doing the same things that we do, and they are trying to even outdo us. And so they are our competitors. More also other religions, maybe Islam, maybe traditional religion. And in our contemporary times, today's Ghana, there is an ideology infiltrating this neoliberal ideology of LGBTQ. They are working against our Christian doctrines and values. For that matter, they are also competing. And when we take the suppliers, maybe electricity, the power producers, power distributors, and water distributors, and all that can be our suppliers. So Ghana Water Company, and maybe suppliers of our stationaries. Then also the government of the Republic, the national government, the local governments, to our district assemblies, the traditional authorities. They are stakeholders because their activities, those that are external, the competitors, the suppliers, and the government, are also stakeholders because they can create the enabling environment that would enable us perform and achieve our goals, or their decisions, actions, and activities can inhibit what we want to do. That is why they constitute stakeholders. Stakeholders, one want to say, they have concerns and interests in the organization. So those who have interests and think they can benefit from us, maybe they should be stakeholders. No, these ones are also important and relevant for us to identify them. And we must not forget NGOs and the media. The media is also an important and critical stakeholder. If what we are saying should be our message to the government and all that, if the media can also carry it and blow it. When one of us called on the decision we took on the LGBTQ, our position that we need to send it out there, it is the media that must do it for us. That's why media is also a critical stakeholder for us. That is what is happening. If we have now identified our stakeholders, then how do we meet the needs of our stakeholders? And what are the stakeholders expecting from us? What they expect from us, they believe that we can deliver. So the trust is there. And so if we are trustworthy, our stakeholders will increase. The stakeholders, particularly the internal ones, will be satisfied. So that is how trust becomes the key in all these things. We must, therefore, earn the trust. Trust is not a degree that will be conferred on us, but it is a value we must earn. we have to work at it to earn it. And if we take the model of our Lord Jesus Christ to be our model, to imitate him, then we can be really people of integrity, and be trustworthy. Thank you. Well, before I resume my seat, I must still give tribute to you. And then our motto from the financial management: in God we trust, all others we audit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Moderator, he scored A++. That is the end of the presentation, Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mawudor, one of the greatest sons of the EP Church. Amen. I'm glad that you have come back to Ghana because we need your services here. Also for Amaglo, Ayeko, for doing well and being a good ambassador wherever you went to. Well, this opportunity has taken me by surprise because the whole of yesterday I wasn't here. I went for review at the hospital. I'm well. September, I will be 87. And so, thank you. So, but I'm happy that I was given this opportunity because I have been a staunch EP Church member since 1981, when my husband was made a moderator of this church. At that time, all these structures were not there, like head of like the different desks and so on, were not really there. So I had the opportunity to earn the name assistant moderator at a certain time. And so if you have lived through the EP Church since 1981 until now, you will know that we are declining. I'm not talking of the leadership because I always feel sorry for the leadership. We are declining. Now we are serving ourselves. Now when you want a volunteer, somebody to sweep the church, you have to pay her, or him or her, true or false. And so it is the right time to call us to reorganize. Because when I heard of this laudable project, water project, I said to myself, whoever will be in charge of collecting money should be trustworthy. It shouldn't be a personal thing, which is what has happened to EP Church now. We have a lot, but because like Ghana, we are just like Ghana. Look at the riches that are there, and yet we are poor. EP Church, if we have been building on what we have, we wouldn't be considered poor. So we lay people, we have to reorganize ourselves. We have to try to understand why we say we are EP Church members. I look at the Church of Pentecost. Are they the ones who have a big place at Who were they? Even Ghana Presby got some ideas from EP Church. This our friend, they are out. near Accra. Abokobi. When we started the Mawudor Women's Association, Osofo Matekojo and others came to ask us how for ideas, and went and look that place. What's the name? Abokobi. We all go and praise the place. And where are we? Because we have become personal. Everything that the church does becomes somebody's personal pocket. Hello? I am just a lay preacher, lay person. All these things that you have here, I'm not going to necessarily talk about them. But one thing is this. It is not enough, as the paper says here, it is not enough to have resources available. But if the resources go into the wrong places, they labor in vain the leadership. As the psalmist says, they labor in vain. Because they will turn into enemies when they go and start asking questions. So, as for me, I still remember my husband's expression. He said, "Evevi mi butame, evevi butame." Let us ask ourselves. Let us say to ourselves, we are now changed, new people, and all these things will come our way, and then we will shine. Because we are great people with great learners. So as I have said, we will have to look at ourselves. We look at our organization, for example. What has come into my mind is the Wednesday evening services. We keep saying people don't attend. Am I right in saying that in your places people don't attend? Yes. So what are you going to do? In fact, you are complaining to the few who come to the church. Those who are not there are not even there to hear your complaints. So what do? Move from place to place. Move from today. We are meeting in Hamedada so and so's house for the Wednesday place. Have you thought of the fact that sometimes in the night, the youth, these days, these are dangerous times. The youth may not want to pass through the how do you call it, dangerous places to go to the Wednesday service. So what are you going to do? Won't you reorganize and say that if Bible class is able to meet at 4 and they come regularly, let us take Wednesday, okay, shall we meet, change the time a little, change things. We are meeting in Madam Atake's house. It may be close to, it will create change. But we are always saying, Wednesday, what are you going to do about it? Remain like that? So this is my lay person's comments. So let us please raise the head of EP Church. Otherwise our leadership will be working in vain. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Madam Moderator, I just want to use the example of the Church of Pentecost. Let me tell you their secret. When the previous leader before Onina was there, for 5 years, they were bringing all their presbytery moderators, our equivalent, to Korat, Africa in Kenya. And they took them through management courses. And then Korat CORAT is a Pan-African organization in consultancy and training. And I used to be the treasurer of CORAT for the last 10 years. Then CORAT followed up to Church of Pentecost premises and took them through training in management, church administration, non-profit making organizations, 5 years. And they helped them to establish the real estate. So in fact, Church of Pentecost is the first church to have the idea of real estate. And they have real estate plan for all their ministers. 5 years training in management, because the people are already well seated in theology. But then they said they should do something in management. So that is one thing that I want to say. That is one of their secrets, whilst they are there today, like that.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In all sincerity, I want to say a big thank you to our mama for accepting to chair the session that just ended. And thanks for your words of wisdom and what you've shared with us. Also, on behalf of all of us, thank Presbyter Dr. Mawudor and my brother Reverend Amaglo for the well-delivered talk. Do you have anything to say before we move on to the next stage? Okay. Two. One.
Hello, moderator, thank you. I just want to add to what Doctor has taken us through. In the business field, we have something called customer care. The customer being defined as sometimes Nana or Chief. It's like how we honor or adore our chiefs. That is what you have to handle a customer. If you handle a customer very well, and he is satisfied, he goes back to sell you to your goodness to 3 people. But if you handle a customer is not satisfied, and he go out, he sell you badly to about 10 people. So you could see the harm that you get when the customer is satisfied. The customer I personally am talking about over here is the congregants, or we, the members of EP Church. With all the apology, the moderator, the customers that the moderator will care for is the members. And when you descend it down to the various congregations, the synod moderator, the pastors, the the presbyters, the catechists, and the presbyters. Then we come down to the leaders of the various groups. When we are talking about performance, it is as they have already said. It is a voluntary. If I like, I'll come to EP Church. If I like, I'll go away. But if I should come to EP Church voluntarily, what service or what customer care will I take from our leaders? I don't think what I'm talking about now, it does not imply with somebody will say it's implied with my congregation. No. My moderator is one of the best gentlemen I've ever seen so far. But I have the opportunity where I work. During my working time, I had 13 transfer, various towns. And anytime I reach, if there is no EP church, I sometimes attend Presby church. And what I'm talking about now is related to different towns' experience is what I am bringing on board. How do we talk to our people, our members? I don't think the moderator, without apology, will talk to any people anyhow. I don't think. And I think that can never happen too. But when it descends down to the various congregations, how do the moderators talk to members? How do the pastors, particularly pastors, how do they talk to the members? How do they relate to them? A point of time you could realize that a church member will say, because of this Asimasi pastor, I will not come to EP church until that pastor is transferred. When we are talking of performance, if that person, in my workplace, I work at one of the financial institutions. One of the things we value so much is cash. And if the customer does not bring that cash, we are not going to work. So any one customer who will come to the bank and say that I want to close my account, or I want to transfer, I want to redeem my investment. If you don't take time, I don't know whether any of you have experienced it before, you have to go around as far as even to the area manager, because we don't want you to take that money, because the money is our access. The same way, one congregant, everybody over here to make sure that there should no conflict between us, between them and the congregants. We should treat them as our best customers. The problems will come. If it comes, we have to handle it in a Christian way so that we maintain our members. We don't have to do anything to say that, oh, you can go. If you don't like, you can go. We need to maintain our members. The way we talk to them, the way we handle them, the way we handle issues. If you maintain all this, we are looking for more people. Because if one person comes to church and he does not even give, he doesn't do anything, the singing alone will give him money. If that person has contributed 1 CD, it will increase our revenue. So I beg, everybody here, from A to Z, should take each member as a customer and handle them well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Akwe, thank you. Papa Atake, you are the next. Where's the? Yeah.
Moderator, thank you. I want to be very brief. Listening to Madam Jobo, in fact, she touched on a very, very important issue. The Wednesday service. Well, Ian, we took delight in attending church service in the evening of Wednesday. I want to suggest that there should be unexpected inspection to various congregations to see what is going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Right. We'll be inviting the finance team. No, okay.
Moderator Chair, I want to crave the indulgence of the council members, particularly who are presbyters in their various presbyteries, to kindly liaise with their senior moderators and work closely with them. If we do that, I think we will work as a team and move around and then maybe solve issues that are somewhere. But if you don't work together, then things will fall apart. Thank you.
Yes. I think Dr. Setinami will continue with what we did yesterday. Yes, sir.
Moderator, Thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to invite our policy drafting committee to come forward quickly as we go through this. Yesterday, the groups came up with very good ways forward and have modified the policy proposals that we have in front of us. We'll try and have them projected so that we can follow. Yesterday, the technology didn't work. If not, we'll try and go as quickly as possible to each of them. There are 3 parts in our presentation. The first part are the policy proposals coming from this General Assembly.